What if you could easily harmonize your melodies, create guitar strums, and orchestrate your music with a few simple clicks in Studio One? Well, now you can with Harmony Wizard. This video is sponsored by DistroKid. Follow the VIP link in the description down below to get 7% off an already amazing price to distribute your music to the world. Hi folks, I'm Mike, and I hope you're well. Harmony Wizard is a brand new Studio One extension developed by Lukas Ruschitzka of Studio One YouTube guru fame, and I reckon it's something that will be useful to you whether you're an expert in music theory or not, simply because it makes fairly complex things happen in just a few clicks of the mouse. Now, I'm only scratching the surface of it in today's video, but hopefully my demo will give you a pretty good idea of what it's all about. Let's dive in. I'm starting off with this very simple composition, which I'm going to embellish entirely using Harmony Wizard. I won't be playing another note for the rest of this video. It consists of this simple melody played on piano, a very simple bass guitar part, and some drums, which are not relevant to Harmony Wizard. So let's have a quick listen to the first half of this so you get an idea of what we're going to be dealing with. Now, there's a few different ways to access the Harmony Wizard features. First of all, if you're in the piano view, as I am at the moment, you can click on the action button here, and then you'll find the Harmony Wizard features over there on the right-hand side. Another thing you can do is select the notes that you actually want to affect, right-click on one of those, go down to musical functions, and again, the Harmony Wizard features will be there on the right-hand side. But what I'm going to be doing for the rest of this video is using the macro toolbar. So I'm going to open that by clicking on the macro icon up here. Then I'm going to go over to the left and I'm going to select Harmony Wizard from this menu. So once I've done that, I can see my Harmony Wizard buttons here, all handy for what I'm going to do. And the first thing I want to do is detect which scale I'm working. And this is going to be really important for the other features in the rest of this video. So I'm going to go ahead and select all of the notes in my melody here. I'm going to press Control A on my keyboard in Windows, or that would be Command A on Mac, and that selects all of the notes. Then I'm simply going to go up to the top, and where it says scale, I'm going to click on the Detect button. And you can see over here on the left hand side, it's detected the scale as D minor, which I happen to know is correct. So what I want to do now is create some chords on a piano. Now, I've already added a piano instrument. You can see that here. And for the sort of basis of this, if you'll excuse the pun, I'm going to use the bass guitar part. So I'm just going to grab the bass guitar event. I'm going to hold Alt on my keyboard in Windows. It would be Option on Mac. I'm just going to drag down to make a duplicate copy. And while I'm here, I'm just going to quickly rename it so I don't get confused. So that would be piano chords is what we'll call it here. That's all done, and then I'm just going to double click on that to open it in the piano view. So I've got the sort of basis of it here. I'm going to select all of my notes like so. Then I'm going to go up to scale up here, which is under the harmonize melody with section. And I'm going to go down to stacked notes simple and click on triad above. And that's going to create some really simple chords above those bass guitar notes. Let's just have a quick listen. Okay, I can already hear they're too low for me. So I'm going to use this invert chords feature over here. You can see we've got up and down buttons for this. I'm just going to push it up 2 or 3 times, and then hopefully it will be in the right sort of area that I was hearing in my head. Let's have a listen. Well, that's better. Okay, that's fine. Let's create some variations so it's not following the bass guitar quite as closely. So I'm going to go to my second chord here. And I'm going to invert that perhaps downwards like so. Have a listen to that. that's nice. It sort of goes down and then up a little bit. And then for the second half, I'm going to do another bunch of variations. So I'll grab this chord here, push it upwards, so that chord progression is going upwards. I'll push this one upwards as well a couple of times. Those chords are all progressing up. And the last one can go back down just a little bit, like so. Let's have a listen to that second half. The next thing I'd like to do is add some simple orchestration. And in preparation for this, I've added 4 new virtual instruments. One for violins, one for violas, one for cellos, and the other one for bass strings. And for all of these, I've used the completely free Spitfire Audio BBC Symphony Orchestra. Now, before I add this orchestration, I need to populate the chord track. Now, to show the chord track, I'll go to this icon at the top here, click on that, and then click on chords, and that shows the chord track. And then I'm simply going to grab those piano chords we just created, and I'm going to drag them up to the chord track, and it automatically detects the chords that we created. The next thing I'm going to do is open up my macro toolbar again by clicking on the macro icon here, and I've already selected Harmony Wizard. Now I'm going to select all of those 4 tracks that I just created, or those 4 instruments. I'm going to go up to Insert Chords, then I'm going to go all the way down to Arrange Chords on Selected Tracks, and then click on Full Orchestra. And you can see all of those parts have been populated. Let's have a quick listen to them. I'm pretty happy with that, but I've found by experimenting earlier that I can embellish that even further. So what I'm going to do is deselect the actual bass part here. So I've just got the violins, violas, and cellos selected. I'm going to go up to Insert Chords again. This time I'm going to go down to Arrange Chords on Selected Tracks, but I'm going to click on Arrange Chords from Chord Track. I'll click on that. It opens up this Arrange Chords window. I'm going to keep it to these settings. So I'm using close voicing. I'm only using the selected tracks. I'm starting from the root position, and I'm going to use the root note for the lowest voice. I click on OK, and that's harmonized those 3 instruments for us. So let's have a quick listen again. Pretty good, but I want more. The next thing I'd like to add is a strummed guitar, and for this instrument I'm using Ample Sounds nylon string guitar that you can see here. I'm going to double click just below our other tracks here to create an event, and then I'm going to double click on that event to open up the piano view. Now the next thing I'm going to do on my Harmony Wizard macro toolbar is go to Insert Chords, click on that, and go down to Insert Chords from Chord Track. And as you can see, it's created some chords already for my guitar. Let's solo this instrument and have a quick listen. Okay, not so impressive. This doesn't sound like the voicings for guitar chords. So I'm going to fix that by going over to Edit Chord Notes, clicking on Transform, and going down to Create Guitar Chords. And you can see it's created all these new voicings which are much more suitable for guitar. Let's just have a quick listen to them. Okay, that's a bit better. I'm just going to quickly fix something in the Ample Sound instrument here. Just want to make sure that it's playing all of those chords in the first position on the guitar. Of course, this is going to be different for your virtual instrument, but I like to fix that on this. Have a listen again. Okay, that's fine, but they're all a bit abrupt. I really want that strum, don't I? So I'm going to select all of my notes here, and then I'm going to click on strum. When I click on strum, this dialog box comes up. Now, you've got a few different options here. For the strum direction, it can be up, it can be down, it can alternate from one chord to the next, or it can be random. I'm just going to leave it on up. So I've got these big strummed chords with the upward strum. I'm going to keep the mode on strum. You can also use this to arpeggiate these chords. And then I select the amount. Now this is sort of how quick the strum is going to be. So if the lower it is, it's much quicker. The higher it is, it's a much slower strum. I'll just sort of set it on 40% or so at the moment. Then I'm going to set the velocity. Now, if you set this to 0, all of the notes will be the same velocity that they are at the moment. But as you increase it, they gradually get louder from the first part of the strum to the end of it. I'll just sort of leave that in the middle or so, or just below the middle here. And I'll click on OK. And you can see it's created these strums. We'll have a quick listen. Okay, they sound sort of okay, but let's have a listen when I put the metronome on. Have a listen to the sort of timing of it. It's not right, huh? It would be much better if the strums were kind of ending on the actual beat. Okay, so I'm going to undo all of that. And just another quick tip, before you strum these chords, one thing that's worth doing is just shortening these notes just ever so slightly. So I've got them all selected at the moment. I'm just going to grab the end of one of them and just sort of drag it off to the side so they all get just a tad shorter. So I'm going to go up to my strum option again. And I'm also going to make this strum a little bit quicker. So I'll just make this, I don't know, around about sort of 17 or 20% or so. The velocity is around about fine where it is. But importantly, I'm going to click on trigger ahead here. So this makes sure that the last note of the strum is on the beat, yeah. And I'm also going to click on this one, strum note ends. It's going to stagger all the ends of the notes as well as the beginnings. So I'll click on OK. Now you can see they're ending on the beat. Let's have a quick listen. Now it sounds much more in time, but we were missing the first strum. To hear that strum, we just need to extend the end of the event here a little bit. I'll just drag it out, and then you'll hear that we can actually hear that first strum. Not bad. Now, one thing I'm going to do just to make this timing a little bit nicer is go over to the tools section over here under time and rhythm, then go down to quantize chords. Now there's a few different options here. You can quantize according to the first note, the last note, but I'm going to use the average of these notes here, and I'm just leaving the strength on about sort of halfway, so it's reasonably natural. I'll click on OK, and you can see now that the last note of the strum isn't exactly on the beat yet. It's just a little bit after it, and I think this sounds a little bit more natural. Have a listen. Not bad. Let's turn the metronome off and hear this in the context of our piece of music so far. Now, before we move on to the finishing touches of my demo, don't forget, if you're releasing your music to places like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Google Play, etc., follow that VIP link in the description down below to our sponsor DistroKid, and you'll get 7% off your first year of membership. I'd like to finish off by adding a few notes of harmony to the second half of our melody. So I'll open up our melody. I'm going to select a few notes towards the end like so. Then go up to scale, then go to add second voice with selected scale, and then above melody. And when I click that, you'll see those harmony notes appear. Let's have a quick listen. That's exactly what I wanted. Now, I just want to take a moment to remind us where we've come and where we've gotten to. We started off with a very simple demo piece that sounded like this. And we've added all of these embellishments entirely using Harmony Wizard. So Harmony Wizard is releasing at an introductory price of $39.99. There's a link in the description down below for that. While you're down there, take some time in the comments to let me know what you think of this new extension for Studio One. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.